Well, actually, we use lead. Oh, by the way, as far as using depleted uranium to as ballast on aircraft to balance them, uh, one or two, a few, yes, but it was very depleted uranium, and I just put it in there for fun. By the way, like I said, I am Lucifer Star. So yes, there was depleted uranium in a couple aircraft just for fun. But it was very depleted uranium, and it was actually lead. I also used gold and some other things. Believe it or not, actually, that's one thing that nobody realized is that in some of the aircraft that were built, we used a few things creatively. Like no one realizes this. No one knew this. We used silver, gold, lead, and also mostly we did so gold and silver and lead and also depleted uranium. There were a couple of aircraft out there. It was a joke. It was a joke because nobody knew. Nobody knew. But when we built the aircraft, I knew. So we used gold, we used silver, and we used some depleted uranium. Depending on which aircraft you recycled and all that other stuff, you would find gold, silver, or depleted uranium. Sorry, a little joke on my part. Lucifer Star here. Yes, little Lucifer Star, the richest person in the whole universe and also the most powerful. And when we were building them, I thought, well, we needed something to balance them, and so I had so much of everything. So in some aircraft, we used a little bit of gold, and in other aircraft, well, I mean, they're usually about the same weight, but just because, and you don't really have to balance them. Some people just didn't even bother balancing them. I mean, you don't have to balance them, but it helps. I balanced my aircraft with gold, silver, or depleted uranium, depending. Not very much of it though. Anyway, though, but yeah, or lead. One other person was using lead, but I wasn't really. They use lead nowadays. So anyway, though, because I kind of lost interest, but there was a couple of aircraft out there. It was like a little surprise inside. A little surprise. Gold, silver, or depleted uranium. Which one would you find? Yeah, we did that. So that's a funny. It was a joke. It was a joke. But yeah, I did. I was massively wealthy, massively rich, and I could do anything I wanted. So we did a lot of silly stuff. Mostly just fun and games. So anyway, yeah. Some people didn't even know about it until afterwards. Anyway, anyway, yeah. There's lots of things that people didn't understand until after the fact. When it all came down. Like Mr. Brown. Anyway, yeah, I'm just the builder, the owner, the person that they were basically trying to kill for a very long time. Trying to find, too. But they had no idea where I was, you see. Who's Lucifer Star? Who is this SL? Actually, they didn't even know it was Lucifer Star. They just knew SL. They said, SL, where are you, SL? Or I mean, LS, sorry. SL. Where are you, Ellis? Where is Ellis? Where is Ellis? We have to kill Ellis if we're going to take over. So they were looking for Ellis. And, well, and then they started working on E's, like Eddie. And others and other stuff because they figured, well, L, right? L, E is an E. So they started working down the E's. And they killed a couple. Anyway, then they went after. Then somebody had the idea that, well, maybe it's an L. So they started killing Lucases and Lyndons and Lucille. Poor Lucille. So they still couldn't really find me. So anyway, but as a happen chance, I changed my name to Brian. The Brileys and Brian, and yeah. So. They kind of skipped over me or something like that. Anyway, besides, they were looking for a blonde-haired, blue-eyed child. And I did have blonde hair and blue-eyed. But by the time they found me, I guess I had brown hair and brown eyes or something. I don't know. Anyway. Besides, I'm the creator. So yeah, apparently they were killing everyone. They killed all the blonde-haired, blue-eyed child. They finally gave up and just started killing blonde-haired, blue-eyed children. And, yeah, and they killed a bunch of those because they figured, well, one of those got to be him. So anyway, and JFK and JFK dyed his hair blonde so he could look blonde, even though he was brown haired, because the creator was supposed to be a blonde haired, blue eyed child. So he started wearing contacts, and he dyed his hair blonde. Anyway, so he could live in the White House and call himself the King. Hail to the King, baby. And yeah. And then he went after the real king, or Lucifer, star. Anyway, he didn't even know how to spell my name when they finally did figure out that my name was Lucifer. And he spelled it with a C. So, didn't really get me there either. Anyway, it's spelled with an S. And they didn't know the last name of Star. So, they kind of messed up on that one too. So, and they just decided to go with Kennedy or something. Actually, supposedly the Kennedys were from, he needed a Kennedy, a kidney. Kennedy needed a kidney, and basically one of my people had helped him. He had gone to Germany and gotten a kidney. And it's probably, I mean, they used to do a lot of organs, like if you're a rich person and you needed something, they would just go to the general population, just rip it out of someone, find your blood type, and then they would. That's another thing that the USAF people did. You know, if you had a blood type that was like someone that was rich, they would just go basically knock on your door, and pretty much they would take you to a hospital. They would remove what they needed, and then they would kick you out the back, and you'd probably die. Sometimes sometimes the doctor would sew you up. Sometimes he wouldn't. Anyway, yeah, JFK, Kennedy. Anyway, so one of the people I guess needed a kidney, and basically they were selling organs pretty much, and all that kind of stuff. And so that's another way that they had money, and that's why the IRA was incriminated in basically organ sales and stuff, and that was going around a lot in 1920 or so. Anyway, though, but it's stupid because you can just grow your own kidney, although you know, and usually just be on dialysis, and that's another thing. I mean, you can clean the blood; it's not really a big deal. And I spent quite a bit of money on blood stuff and other stuff, so I was actually saving these pieces of shit from dying when they should have probably died. Anyway, I saved a lot of people with my money and my scientists. Anyway, and we went through some bad times because these people, you know, they basically just had guns. And they were like Charles in Charge or something, who actually eventually became known as Boba Fett, the bounty hunter. Anyway, his name was Charles, and he went around, and he was a clone. Anyway, yeah, but then I changed his food, and he liked the food better, and he wanted to know about everything, because he wanted to know what was going on. And I was like, okay, well, we'll tell you. It's like this, and blah 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 blah. And he was very fascinated with the way things really were, and about all the old whatevers. And I said, we'll find out. Let's go. Anyway, they liked me more. They liked me better. So yeah, Mr. Never Died finally kind of died, I believe. I believe Mr. Never Die finally died. So yeah, and he was using nanotech to stay alive, basically. And he was down to his last nanobots. Only two or three left that were keeping him alive. And he kept on using bzzz into a new clone body. And the clone bodies didn't really even like to be him. But he was forcing them on them. He was forcing his twisted brain on them. So anyway, it became this big deal. Anyway, and that was basically when we were still on the sun. Or the star in the center. But then he died. It's a very fascinating story, actually, if you get into it. Really, and it's basically something that they covered up and killed everyone, so no one would ever know what had really happened in the past. Unless you go back, and then you can see the psychopaths. All 12 of them. Anyway, very rich and powerful, and immortal, never dies. That eventually got bored of living or just died. I don't know. Oh, maybe they're still out there with their depleted uranium bullets. Anyway, they were trying to shoot my. They needed the depleted uranium so they could kill my exoskeleton life forms because, you know, the exoskeleton is a shield from radiation. So, and they're really tough. So it took something really hot to burn through their exoskeletons, and basically you need something like a fusion reaction to actually do it. And while other people would say, "Brian, you're crazy," it's like, no, I wasn't. Anyway, they're still out there. Yeah, they just got back a ways because it was too dangerous here. So basically they just went away and then regrouped and basically found a different way in or something.